That was a short excerpt from a verse in praise of Lord Krishna. The poet says, "You have the glowing form with curly hair, swaying with the peacock feather, and your face is so sweet, and you have the youthful body, which every gopi wants to embrace, and you play the divine flute, and the whole world is filled with music, Krishna." Bharatanatyam, images of beautiful silk costumes, elaborate jewelry, dramatic makeup, songs about gods and goddesses set to classical music. And the dancer is doing something which nobody can understand. That's a general perception. But that's from the audience point of view, what you see. But today we are going to talk about what is the experience the dancer is going through. What's happening inside the dancer? What is she experiencing? Anything that has an Indian DNA has its link to ancient wisdom. Similarly, Natya Shastra, which is the text of the classical art forms, has its roots in the Vedas. And they have imbibed their text, music, movement, and emotions from the Vedas. And they have also imbibed the philosophy of the Vedas. So if you have to understand the dance form, you have to understand the ancient wisdom. Now we say Vedic philosophy. What are the Vedas talking about? Are they talking about nature? Are they talking about the figureheads, the gods, goddesses? Are they talking about rituals? The answer is yes. They're talking all about it, and they're talking much more. In fact, the core essence of the Vedas is summarized in Upanishads, which is a text which opens out the science of human possibilities. Now, what are they exploring there? They're exploring three things, which is very simple. What is the nature of the physical reality, which means what is this universe? What is the essence of the living being, or who am I, who are we? And how are we connected? In Bhagavad Gita, which reiterates the Vedic philosophy, Krishna says, if this body is a field of operation, then there is someone else who's operating it. If the field is the body, it's called the kshetra, then there is someone else who knows this field, lives in it, dwells in it, and operates it differently and uniquely. And he is called the kshetrajna. So, matter and consciousness constitute physical reality. This body, or anything that is material, is matter. The one who knows the matter is consciousness. So the basic philosophy of the Vedas is to explore matter, consciousness, and how they are connected. Now we should know that in the Puranas and the epics, we have heard about the sages doing meditation for hundreds of years to access the supreme intellect. But parallelly, there was a pattern, there was a mode of connectivity with the supreme through dance, music, theater, literature, and other visual art forms. These saint poets or writers did something very phenomenal. What they did was they took the concept of this abstract consciousness and gave it a focal point through gods and goddesses and started communicating through feeling, through love. I'll cite two examples at this point. One of the saint poets in his song says, "Oh Krishna, you are the supreme consciousness, and you're not accessible to the so many sages who are meditating for so many years, but you are there so easily accessible to these women, the women of Vrindavan, who just love you." At another instant, he talks about Yashoda, the mother of Lord Krishna. He says, "Yashoda, how lucky are you? You have Krishna, the consciousness, as a little child in your home, and you're treating him like any other ordinary child. How more lucky can you get?" And I can go on citing such examples because there are hundreds and thousands more. But what we can conclude is the connectivity became easier when there was a tangible focus and when we emoted or created a feeling towards the focus. Now the dancers keep adapting these songs while dancing for their repertoire, and consciously or unconsciously, they've opened the line of communication with the subconscious mind. But what are the dancers actually doing? How are they processing the techniques? What is a feeling? It stems from a thought, a belief in a thought. Buddha said, "Mind is everything. You think and you become what you think." So the dancer, she is trained to think or imbibe a thought and believe in a thought. I will give an example. We will take the same example of Yashoda and Krishna. So that the dancer has to dance that item. She may not believe in Yashoda. She knows she is not Yashoda. She knows there is no Krishna. But she has to believe it, because we operate on a very interesting principle called suspension of disbelief. So we train our dancers, or we train ourselves to think and to believe in that thought. Then what happens is the dancer believes the thought. Then she emotes the thought. She imagines the thought. She fantasizes the thought. And then she becomes the thought. And it is that moment when she is in zone or in a meditative state. And that is why dance is called yoga, because your mind and your body and your emotions are all aligned. And it is called a spiritual art form because you're looking inwards. What is exactly happening during that meditative state? Neuroscientists believe now that your brain is not hardwired. With every new information, every new experience, there are new connections in the brain. So when you are in a meditative state, your mind actually are making new connections, your brain. And your frontal lobe, which is the CEO of your brain, is actually reprogramming and rewiring, which is called the neuroplasticity. And because the artist is living the imagination as if real, which is a key phrase, you're directly accessing the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is your emotional brain. It understands emotion. It understands pictures, it lives in the now, and the best part is it cannot differentiate between the real and the imagined. So while your frontal lobe is rewiring and reprogramming, your subconscious mind is receiving information as is at that point of time. This gives you an additional advantage to access the subconscious mind or the consciousness. Now when all of this is happening, what does it mean? It means that while you're rewiring and reprogramming, you're more focused, you have clarity, you have creativity. Suddenly you can find a solution for an unsolvable problem. You're productive, you're aware, you're charged with energy, and therefore you can access higher frequencies. Higher frequencies mean you attract opportunities. Now you can ask,
why should I do all this? Why can't just I think and be? But why would you? If you believe in the philosophy that the body is the field and the operator is living within and operating the system or the field, then you become, or I become, the ultimate powerhouse. And we have to tap that powerhouse in order to realize our own potential, harness our best human potential. And you may ask, why the artistic processes? You need not dance, but if you distill the artistic processes that the dancer uses, it is easier to access the subconscious mind because it's fun. You're using narratives. Storytelling is very interesting. You're using emotions. There is very easy reference points, and you don't have to train your mind. Because meditation is a very, very challenging thing. It's very difficult to focus on an abstract form, and it is very difficult to tame your mind. But here you get the narratives, and you get a focal point in the gods and goddesses, and you have the additional trigger of music, which actually stimulates emotion. And the most important is you're using your mind, your brain, and your heart, which is the strongest producers of electromagnetic waves in your body. And so you are completely energetic and aware, and you can access higher frequencies. So if these dancing processes are distilled from the dance and used by everyone, everybody can tap into their unlimited potential. Dance is pure joy, Satchidanandam. Chit, which is the pure consciousness, which is Sat, which is the truth, absolute truth that never changes. And Anandam is the subjective experience of this consciousness, and therefore dance will ever be Satchidanandam. Thank you.